man he'd spotted, sitting underneath a wall of photos ranging from cop tournament poker games to darts, pretended he was more interested in the frizzed, dirty blonde he was huddled against, and that he hadn't noticed him. Cortese knew that wasn't so, but what did it matter? He snorted a laugh through his nose and went on through the arch. The exit was at the back of the hallway, where the bathrooms and an office were located too. Andre, the head bartender, came out of the washroom and they nodded at each other. Plastered on the rear door was a monochromatic poster warning kids of the dangers of drugs. The waif-like teenage girl staring out from the announcement had a hand-drawn word balloon attached to her mouth stating, "Discount blowjobs for cops." Cortese leaned a shoulder against the door as he simultaneously pressed against the release bar. He went outside to the usual tableau of busted-up crates and plastic trash bags found behind countless taverns, fast food stands, and restaurants across the city. He paused and put a hand to an ear as he cocked his head into the humid night air. The theatrical actions were unnecessary, for the moaning was steady and audible. Another half-moon materialized on his face as he trudged to where he knew the sounds originated. He stuck a toothpick in his mouth and went across the warped blacktop of the back lot. To the rear of this, a series of stone steps older than Joan Collins led up to a tier of brush and dirt paths. The paths wound their way into Elysian Park and part of Section D of Dodger Stadium. "God damn, Raf," Erlinda de la Rocha murmured pleasurably. She was bent forward, her hands gripping a rusted pole. The woman's panties were halfway down her spread thighs, and her jeans collapsed around her Doc Martens boots. The pole she held onto went upward to a dilapidated wooden overhang that was part of a small building on the back lot that once, many decades ago, had housed city fire hydrants and now was used as a storeroom. A lone floodlight, barely giving off illumination, washed the lovers in cream yellows. There was a pair of handcuffs snapped around the woman's wrists. Cortese worked the pick in his teeth. He leaned on the corner of the shed, watching the two for several beats, listening to their rough lovemaking. Then he said, "We got a hook and book, partner." "Can't you see he's busy, Cheddar Dick?" De la Rocha said hoarsely. "Can't you see I don't give a fuck? Cabron. Ho." "All right." Rafael Santian grunted. He ceased and straightened up behind De la Rocha. "You two ought to take that act and get a radio show." He stepped back, shook his now limp penis, and hiked up his boxers and jeans. The pretty young woman stood erect and glared at Cortese. "What you looking at, motherfucker?" She was a tall Latina, with pronounced cheekbones and a teardrop tattoo in the corner of her heavily mascaraed right eye. Cortese flicked his toothpick at her exposed leg. "Bastard," she flared. Cortese ignored her. "The gargoyle has landed, Saint." "Righteous." Santian stepped from around De la Rocha as she hitched her clothes around her wide hips. Patting her on the butt, he said, "See you later, Linda." He started to step away with Cortese. "Yo!" De la Rocha rattled the cuffs, still keeping her bound. "Leave her ass like that," Cortese chided. "Be cool, Cheese." Santian tossed a key to the woman. "Sorry about that." "That's okay, baby. I know you gotta run off with your bunghole buddy and fight crime and shit." She undid the cuffs. "What a mouth," Cortese remarked. "Don't she, though?" his partner observed admiringly. They turned to leave again. "Ain't you gonna need these?" De la Rocha held the cuffs and key aloft. "Keep 'em." His back to her, Santian waved his hand dismissively. "We got plenty." "I'll save 'em for next time, honey," she chortled.